No problem.
Here we are. So yeah, that was quick to get live on YouTube. So welcome, Raymond.
Thank you. How you doing, Stephen?
I'm doing really good. Just to tell everybody that we are in the UK. I am in the UK, and it is very, very hot. So if it's a shorter version tonight, then that's why. Because I need to escape from this absolutely wonderful. It's wonderful heat. It really is good. So I'm going to do a screen share as I always do. I'm going to start off with a little bit of body composition and then go through the week, the things that have happened, and Raymond can tut at various points. And here we go then. So yeah, body composition, Monday the 8th of August. Did a little video. I'm quite happy. Obviously, I used to be very tubby, so I got a little bit of loose skin there. But I think
Nice
as I
abs.
go through it, as I go through this process, that will go. But anyway, put on 20 pounds deliberately at the beginning. I've lost that 20 pounds. I'm pretty happy with the body composition. But I realized something that, I have talked about a little bit, and that is it isn't about body composition. And I really realized this week, because last week, what Raymond missed is I was doing a 72-hour fast to support a client, and another client saw the live stream and said, "Could you do that for me?" The lovely client, Mark. So that was fine, and it didn't faze me. Yes, I knew that I wouldn't be doing the rolling 48s because I would be doing a 72-hour fast, which is a bit longer, obviously, so a bit more of a challenge. But I just wanted to do that, and I realized how much freedom I had. I know I'm doing the Chisel program. We're doing the live stream, and I should really maybe do the rolling 48s. But the coaching clients come first because that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help people, and he really wanted to do it, and he saw that I'd helped Tosca the week before. So I don't know if Mark's going to watch this week because he's happy as Larry as he did this great fast, and he's now doing rolling 48s. So
Oh wow,
yeah,
fantastic.
so we've now got somebody in Canada doing the rolling 48s for me. So there you go. So I've also did the glucose and ketone readings for people. So that this was again the 8th of August on the Monday. And you can see it is sort of midday, and I've got glucose 4.5, which is about 80, 85 in the US, and ketones of 1. So I'm quite happy. And then I did a sort of muscle building pose sort of thing, just to show the body composition. And thank you very much. And then I did a test, and I apologized to Raymond because somebody said eating a banana can't be that bad on one of my social media posts. And that was the blood glucose that I had. And then I ate a banana, and that was my blood glucose. So it's gone up, and it's almost like 40% because I've eaten a banana. And for people that want to see what 70 is, 70 is where we go. Sorry, where we gone? So not 70. Sorry, what am I talking about? I'm talking rubbish here. 7 millimoles. That's what I mean. What's 7? 126. So a banana put me into diabetic range. Not a big worry for me. I just wanted to prove to people that going from here 80 to 126 was just a banana, and I thought that was quite interesting. But I've put in we see people, because I'm a specialist practitioner in diabetes, I see people with these big numbers, so I wouldn't sweat over this 126. But if you're doing that every day, 3 bananas a day or any sort of fruit, you are pushing up your blood glucose and you're pushing up your insulin response. So I apologize, I messed up a little bit. And then Raymond asked me for a before picture, by the way. And that's the picture there of when I started Chisel, when I put on 20 pounds for this. So I think, some people will say, well, that's pretty good. They're quite happy with that. Obviously, I wasn't overweight when I came to Carnivore, but I was like this. I was soft and, a bit wee when I first did low carb and then keto and then Carnivore. So in 12 weeks, I went from that to this look. So, that's quite good. Quite happy with that. And the first glucose reading, by the way, I'd eaten bacon and brie, so it wasn't food that puts my blood glucose up. It's the banana that put my blood glucose up. So on the Tuesday, I told Raymond I was totally stopping coffee of all kinds and replaced it with the fatty lattes, which is butter, water, salt, vanilla extract. And then I got into fasting. I did 23 hours, nearly 24. I was saying about fasting freedom. And I did a reading there. And there was a bit I wanted to talk to people about because it's something I don't tell people publicly, but I am going to tell people publicly because I think it's interesting because of we have a lot of people with eating disorders. So when I was growing up, there was a period of time just after my dad died where due to my mum remarrying and that person coming from another country, that the pension wasn't going to be paid. So we had no money at home. And literally, I was so hungry that at night I would eat my wallpaper on my bedroom. So eating is a big deal. So people sort of think, they look at the coaches and they don't know the backstory. Well, it's all right for you because you've not lived it. I can assure you, when I was growing up at home, I would never have chosen to fast because we literally didn't have enough food. And there was this big patch of wallpaper gone, and you could just see like the lining paper where at night I was eating the paper. So that was stuck with me for a long time, and I couldn't have a meal and not finish the plate. I felt absolutely guilty if I left any food on my plate. So I'm not saying I've got an eating disorder or any of that, but I definitely was affected by my childhood there. And it took a long time to get to the point of choosing to not eat everything on my plate because I was full, and also choosing to have a day where I don't eat at all. So it was a big deal for me, but I didn't really want to over-egg that. So I've never mentioned that in all my years of coaching. I've never done it on social media, but I thought I'd just for those people that have messaged me to say, well, it's very easy for me because I haven't got an eating disorder, I've got a great relationship with food. I would have to say I didn't. I had a very indifferent relationship with food, and a very strange one, some people would say, because I even got to the point where I would finish other people's food, their plates, on a social situation. Yeah, and Raymond's pointing to himself, so it's a common thing. And only really going low carb did that stop. And so partly I think it was my past, but partly the effect of carbohydrates making you want to eat them more and more and more. So that was always difficult for me, firstly, to not finish other people's, and then it got to the point where I don't need carbs on my plate, and it takes a while. So anyway, just thought I'd tell people that in case you think it's been really easy to do everything. It hasn't, but it's become easy. It's relatively simple now to do all the things: eat too much, put the weight on, eat properly, lose the weight. It can be done. All right, it can be done. I'm 58. I'm still learning. I don't know everything. I am still learning. So the rolling 48s were a big problem for me. I got to 26 hours and I needed to eat. So my accountability buddy, my coach, I had to tell my coach this was what happened. So at the moment, I'm going for a little phase of surf and turf. So salmon, smoked salmon, and a lamb steak. Broke the fast. And as Raymond said, it's not pleasant. Yes, it's not pleasant to do the rolling 48s as an alternative day fast. So I moved on. And the next day I woke up, 7:26, a little bit of dawn phenomena, very low ketones. But, and this is another thing I want to get into because people think you can only lose weight when you're in ketosis. I'd lost 1.3 pounds overnight. So there you go. Not in ketosis, but lost 1.3 pounds. And there's the proof of that. And then I messaged Raymond. And he'll be able to talk in a minute. It's really nice to mute him so he can't tell me off. And I said, Raymond, I want to talk about my thoughts and feelings about food and how they've changed in Chisel, because they're infinitely more important as an outcome, such as body composition and body weight. And I just clarified there that I didn't mean talk in the live stream. I meant I wanted to talk about it now. So I'm going to just stop for a second, just talk about that. Because when I started, I rather in a reductive way, thought this is all about a picture of what I look like at the beginning and a picture of what I look like at the end. And yes, that gets a lot of people clicking. And I tell you, Chisel is so not that. It really isn't. It has happened, as we've seen in the pictures. That has happened. My body composition has got good, but or improved. But what I would say is, I have food freedom. There is nothing now in my mind. I must eat that. I must eat that. I absolutely control what I eat. Absolutely, 100%. If I don't want to eat, I have 100% control over that. So I have food freedom and I have fasting freedom, but I also have feasting freedom. So if I want to eat a lot, because I feel hungry, I don't feel guilty. I eat, listen to my satiety signals. Actually, I don't feel satiated. I could probably eat another sirloin. Yes, I make mistakes. We're going to see in a minute. I sort of thought I was going to, and then I didn't, and then I did. And this thing that Raymond said about the 2 hours of eating, counting as an OMAD, been a real blessing in disguise, actually. So for those that have missed it, basically, when you're doing 1 meal a day, if you eat, let's say you eat at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, then you have a problem 20 minutes later where you feel, oh, actually, I would like to eat some more. As long as you eat within 2 hours, eating more is okay. And that still counts as 1 meal a day. And that's been absolutely brilliant. So that was that. So that's my bit. I'm going to get to the end, Raymond, if you're okay, and then you can jump in if that's all right. So my first rolling 48 was actually 33 hours. So I was getting closer. But can you see in this week, I've done a lot of fasting. And I wasn't even into OMAD when I started. I thought OMAD was really difficult for me. Now we're proving that sort of 1 meal a day and a half is pretty easy for me. And then I'm going to finish with this. I had high glucose. Well, why was that? I went swimming. It's really hot here. It must be really hot for me to go swimming. I tell you, I don't swim much because the rigmarole taking my hearing aids out for a start is just not worth it. Because as soon as they're out, if anyone talks to me socially in the swimming pool, I can't hear them at all. Really, I have very bad hearing. So for me to go swimming, and I forgot to mention also, before the swimming, I'd lost 1.5 pounds. So that was really good. But look at that high level of glucose. But don't worry, mate, because I understand the physiology of activity is your body decides it needs more blood glucose. That pushes up. So when you read it, there's a ketone still there, quite good. There you go. And this is the last meal I think I've reported on there. And then we're going to get Raymond into a little bit rude. So this is what happened. Eating sea bass and mackerel. In the video where I'm doing 1 meal a day, I actually talk about the fact that I'm probably going to have a sirloin. And I didn't finish this. I didn't eat the mackerel. I ate the sea bass. Thought I finished. This is what I'm talking about freedom. That's obviously gone into the fridge to be eaten later. But about 20 minutes later, I fancied a sirloin. So I had sirloin with pancetta and butter. So there's your food freedom. Leaving that, which I'd never have done when I was a child. Eating the fish, which I'd never done before 50 because I was allergic to fish. So low carb, keto, and carnivore has fixed a fish allergy. So that's good. And then I'd never thought about eating again 20 minutes later, but I did. A big chunk of butter on there, which incidentally is raw milk, grass-fed butter, pancetta under that, and a 28 aged sirloin under that. So that's absolutely loaded with histamines. And I used to be allergic and have hay fever, and that didn't then affect me. So that's been my week, pretty much the weight I want to be. I've not talked about weight. Body composition I'm happy with, but fasting freedom, food freedom, and feasting freedom have all happened. I'm going to stop the screen share now, and then I'm going to go to the boss and let him say his bit.
Hey,
So what do you reckon on
well,
that?
so the biggest thing I want you to realize that I know you don't think those 72s, those 272s that you've done had a role in a part for your fasting, but it does. It does make it a lot more difficult when you start adding 72s in. So the recuperation for a 72, I don't know if you did a 5 OMAD in between those, but that's before you can do another decent roll. But that does tend to stop you. Do you? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I messed it all up
Right,
basically.
right, right. So, but I want to make sure that people understand that it's not because you couldn't do it, it's just because you added all these things in. And speaking of which, your workout, you did not mention that. You did not talk about that.
Well, yeah. I mean, actually, the last few days I've not been working out because of the heat. You can probably see my face is really, really sunny here. It's really hot.
Yeah.
It's hot. You know, there's no let up, which is not really English weather. Um, I mean, we've had hot summers before, and they've been really, really hot, and I've got a nice tan from it. But lately, it's been particularly hot for the last few days. So I've not trained because I just felt I'm pushing my luck really. And I feel bad that I haven't done the rolling 48s as the plan, but I'm happier that I got two clients that got through big long fasts and came out the other side and were much healthier for it. So I wouldn't swap that because that's my main role, isn't it, as a coach, and to get through, people through times of difficulty. So I don't think I'd ever land on rolling 48s as a thing to do after Chisel, to be honest. I think OMAD's going to be the way to go, and the occasional, really weird thing to say, but maybe a 72-hour fast once a month, maybe a 48 once a month, but mostly it'll be OMAD. And I think the stress of the OU's not been helpful. My Open University degree finishes this month. So the timing's been good, as in, this is what real people have. They have lots of, tasks and stress and difficulties. So I feel that for 12 weeks out of 14, I've really stuck to the program. And I think only for 2 weeks I've gone off a bit. But the results are still there.
Results
I
are
think
amazing.
solid. Yeah, the science is pretty solid in this, Raymond. You've done a brilliant job. I can't stress enough that I'm a completely different person when it comes to food and fasting and feasting, completely different. And it's, I'm enjoying the food more. I know you talk about not having food so much for enjoyment, but I really have loved it. And I think that's
It's a different way.
It's a different way. It's joyful.
Right,
It's
right.
really
It's
good.
not that
Really
I
good.
don't enjoy it. I do enjoy it. It's just more like so I enjoy it when I'm eating, right? But it's like, you know how it was, how you even suggested that you were a foodie before. It's not that. It's not, I want to be inventive with my food, try different things. I don't care. I just want a steak and get it over with kind of thing. And I enjoy it when I'm eating.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you're saying. I do. Yeah, I don't sort of. One of the things that's definitely changed is I don't think about my in the morning. I won't say to Jane what we're having this evening, which is something I used to do all the time. It really is gets to the evenings like, wow, what should we have? Because we've got choices. Um, it's just very different. Yeah, you're right. It's just very different,
Right.
but better in every way. I feel much happier, more energized. Toilet habits are really great. Mood is really good. Um, except when I've got to do my studies. It's good. It's good. Yeah, really, I'm just so impressed. I'm so glad I've done this, and I'm glad I've documented it as well, even just for me. And I think it's helped a few people.
I'm very happy you were willing to try all of that out. And really and honestly, I mean, great, because, the 90-day progress really is just getting to that first roll of 48, because the 48 is a different beast alone. It's nice to feel it, to see how good it does for the first one. But really, I prefer the alternate day fasting, if you want to say honestly. And I'm actually stuck in that doing the alternate dry. But, I've done both, and I've done both for like right about a 6 months period. And really and honestly, the 48 seems to push me a little too much, where it's just a little bit too much. Oh, and adding the 72s. The 72 actually breaks me. So, which that's what you were doing.
Yes, yeah. Someone's asked a question about whether I trained during the rolling 48s, and that was one of the things that I modified because I found it quite hard. So I would only train on a day when I knew I was going to be eating, because I tried to do it when I was fasting, and I trained. I think I trained during the 72-hour fast, but once I
Oh,
got into rolling 48s, I found it really difficult.
Mhm.
So we agreed that it would just be training 2 hours before eating. So it would almost be rolling training as well. So I'd have eat on a Monday midday, train 2 hours before, skip Tuesday, don't train Tuesday, and then on the Wednesday midday, 2 hours before train, and then eat. And that really worked out. So that was a question from Zen Mood. So I hope that's cleared that up. But that isn't how you have to do it. I mean, I think you're right with this, aren't you, Raymond? That rolling 48s, people can train how they want to if it works for them.
If
What's
it
your view on?
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you remember how you said, "Look, I don't see myself doing more than nomads from here," right? So the 48, there are some people that just don't like eating the second meal. And if they do, they eat a smaller meal. I got to that point before. Problem is with enough 48s, you kind of really can drain yourself pretty. It just makes it a little bit where you have to use, I mean, I'd say from a willpower from, let's say, ADF, which is like a 3 on a willpower scale, and I'd say 4.5 for like a 48. So it ups the willpower need for it. And in a way, I think that's a little too much to do something that you would want to do. Let's say if I wanted to do it the whole year. Meanwhile, alternate day fast, I don't see why I can't. I could just set it up and just keep going. Could be a lifestyle. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I was going to say that because it began to feel nothing to do with willpower for me. It was just a
Right.
thing,
Right.
just like I'm going into work at 10, and I'm coming home
There.
at 5. It
That's
was
it.
just that. Yeah, and it was just that. There is no. Well, this is what the food freedom and the fasting and feasting freedom is all about. It just was just really simple, just really simple, like your time schedule at work. Oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. That's it. And it just worked. And I think fitting in training, I mean, obviously as a PT, that's important to me. And also as a coach, it's important to me to get it right. And I like it. So it's not a hardship. So there's no willpower in getting me into train. And there was no willpower required to fast. And there was no willpower needed to eat. It just all happened. So it's been really fluid, just incredible. So what do you see next week being, as it's our last week?
Well, it's our last week. Actually, you've done fantastic. But if it's possible, let's see. What was your last 48? When was that?
Well, I haven't really managed it, have I? I
No, you
think it was
haven't.
in the middle of the week, really,
Yeah.
where I
What I'd
went
like
over
to do,
48.
I'm glad you said that. What I'd like to do is change these 48s to rolling like 32. So you're just skipping a day.
Okay.
So next week, if you don't mind, just kind of like starting tomorrow, like Monday, you'll do
Mhm.
skip 2 mad, skip 2 mad, skip 2 mad, something that you're comfortable with, and we'll end it with that kind of roll. So you should be able to do, let's see, 1, 2, 3 rolls of alternate day
Mhm.
fast before you see me again, before we talk again.
So we would eat Monday, skip
No,
Tuesday.
yes, eat Monday, skip Tuesday,
Eat Wednesday,
uh,
skip Thursday. Yeah,
Friday.
okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So you'll do
And it's
three
too
rolls.
it's too too mad
Two
on the
mats.
days I eat.
That's right. We're
Yeah.
going to do 2 mats because I want it to be comfortable for you because it looks like you stretch yourself a little bit too much with the 72s. So we're just going to do the
Mm.
alternate day fast from there. And I wanted to leave with a nicer note with you that way, because if we push to 48 at this point, you may actually get the fasting fatigue. We don't really want to get you there.
Mm.
It is a thing, and you actually get a fear of fasting all of a sudden, and we don't want to get you there, right?
Right. Okay.
Right. So
Yeah.
it is a thing. It is a thing, and that fear of fasting is like right when you hit 20 hours, you're like, I can't do this, and your brain just won't let you go there.
Which is very interesting, all right, because that's why I did this 72 with this. I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning. Anyway, no one's going to trace him. He couldn't do it mentally, couldn't do it. And every time he would send me and oddly, you've obviously done this a lot. It's like, wow, 22 hours. I've got to eat, got to eat, got to eat. We never got to 24. And then we just did this huge leap and agreed that if we did 72 together, just encouraged each other. And it did, it's just amazing. It's just amazing that people can do it with a bit of coaching.
Oh no, of course, yes. There is a lot of mental peace on there, but especially if your body's not prepared, I like it where you can do it without any of that. You don't need motivation, you don't need anything, you just do it. You just set a time, just like you said. You just think, I'm not eating tomorrow. That's it. It's done.
Yes. And that's already in my head, you see. On Tuesday, I'm not eating.
Right.
Thursday, I'm not eating. Yeah.
Right.
Saturday, I'm not eating. And then Sunday is the last one. So that'd be pretty good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. So do you have any more questions, Raymond? Because I think I'll wrap up if you haven't.
Sounds good. I think it's great. You've done wonderful, had the wonderful body composition. And the biggest win of this is not all of that. The biggest win is what you've learned along the way about your body, what it's capable of doing. And I think that's a great takeaway. And you can decide a new whatever lifestyle you prefer from there. Instead of doing 2 MADs, you could be easily doing OMADs. So, or whatever you decide.
Okay. And while you're on, I mean, I'm thinking of possibly carrying on with a live stream on a Sunday night for half an hour for people to ask me questions.
It's great.
So, and you don't have to be here, obviously. And I'm just saying that for everybody that's watching. If you want to comment whether that would be a good thing or whether I'll be talking to a microphone, nobody else will see. But I think next week, I'm looking forward to wrapping this all up. And, I shall miss doing this, but I'll be glad to not have that commitment and just be able to be a bit more flexible and play with the things myself. But I'm looking forward to this alternate day fasting. I think that's going to be something to have well documented. And what about the timings of the meals? Are you particularly strict on the 2 MADs?
No, it's going to be just like you've done it in the past. So just the only thing is try to keep your 2 meals a little bit above 4 hours. So like 6 to 8 hours is a good idea.
So it's a proper 2 meal. Yeah.
Right. It's proper 2 meal. That's right.
Okay, Raymond. Is there anything you want to say, or should we call it a day?
No, like I said, it's wonderful that you took this and put your science cap on, and I think I've learned a lot from your side on you discovering the same thing that I hear over and over again from my clients. So I think it was very successful. I really enjoyed it. So
yeah, and I think it has been as well. So, and thank you for giving your time up, because it's taken you every Sunday you've done this, and I really appreciate it. So it's great, Raymond.
All right. Thank you, Stephen.
Right. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye. So that's it. Thank you for watching. It's really nice that people have been following me. I've certainly been out in the sun today. I think you can tell. I actually went swimming for the first time in a long, long time, which I don't do very much because it's a lot of rigmarole, taking my hearing aids out. And where do you put your hearing aids and all this sort of stuff? And then I can't hear people in the swimming pool. But it was so hot, I've decided to sort of go outdoors and do a bit of swimming as well. Anyway, hope you've all enjoyed it. Please comment. Please subscribe, because that helps the channel. Definitely, if you can put the like button, that'd be great. Even if you dislike it, there's still engagement. So, I prefer likes if you don't mind. And, subscribe, comment, and share. That'd be wonderful. But I'm looking forward to comments. I really do like reading the comments, and I always try to respond, or at least like and and love them as well. So it's great if you could do that. Any questions as well? If you're really interested in carrying on the live stream after we finish with Raymond next week, I'd really want to know that, because seriously, I don't really want to set aside the time and end up not speaking to anybody with no questions. So anyway. Thanks for watching. Have a good week. See you next week.